Hello YouTube. Um, wow, this is going to be the second time I've uploaded in 2 days, which is really good for me because I'm going away soon and I'm probably not going to have very much time to make and upload videos. But I'm going to try and compensate for that and upload as frequently as I can until the holidays are over. Well, I'll be back to my probably 2 week video schedule. In this video, I'm going to be attempting to show you how to play the solo from Friends Will Be Friends by Queen. And this is very possibly one of my favourite Queen songs ever. I know that in my first video ever, Don't Stop Me Now, I said that was my favourite Queen song ever. Times change. Tomorrow it'll be something totally different. But this is my current favourite song, and I'm going to show you how to play the solo. Let's get into it. And before all of you in the comments ask, yes, I know I'm using my Les Paul. My Brian May is just over there, but there's something probably wrong with the wiring or something. It's not making anywhere near enough noise. It just sounds really thin and weedy, so I'm using something with a bit more oomph behind it. So I hope it sounds a bit okay. Right, this is how the solo sounds, and after I've played a few, I'm just going to break it down. It shouldn't be too long a video because it's not very difficult for a solo, but I'll do exactly what I did for the Johnny B. Good video and break it down pretty much note by note. Let's go. Right, that's what the solo sounds like, and now I'm going to break it down for you. As I said, there aren't pretty no fast notes, and there are a couple of corners you might want to look at, but this is how you play it note for note. Let's go. Right, so you're going to want to start things off with just an open D. May I point out that this song actually the solo actually starts on the upbeat to the bar, and it doesn't actually start on beat 1 of the bar. It's not. It's. So you call that an anacrusis in classical music. Don't know what you rockers play, I'll say, but so. And what we're doing here is we've got just the open D, then the 3rd fret on the D, then the 4th fret, and then the 5th fret. And when you play that 5th fret, you're going to want to land that on the first beat of the bar. So it's going to be 3, 4, 1. And that's basically, well, that is pretty much the first bar. And after you've played that, you're going to want to repeat that note like this. After that, you're going to go to the 4th fret on the G string, that B, so it sounds like this. Right, having done that, you've got your first, probably slightly tricky bit, which is a slide up to here. That's the 7th fret on the G string. And I'd slide to the first finger because the next 2 notes will also be a slide, but that's not so difficult. But you'll want to practice this, as I keep on reiterating, with a metronome, slowly building the speed. And this is what it'll sound like so far. And then the next 2 notes are the 9th fret, slide up to the 11th fret on your 4th finger. And all from the beginning it sounds like this. And you put another D on the end of that. But you can either play it here, or you can actually do and play that on the 12th fret of the D string. Personally, I prefer to play it on the 12th fret of the D string because then it puts you in position for, which is the next section of the solo. But if you were to do it like this, it's still perfectly acceptable, but I just think here it's slightly easier to get around and it probably sounds a bit nicer. So I'll play it the way going down the G string first. It goes like this. And you can also bend this note if you want, but you need to be very good at bending, which I'm not, so I'm just gonna slide it. But this is how it sounds going over to the 12th fret. Which I think is slightly easier, but you'll need to be quite careful to not overshoot it like I just did there. You're going to want to go. Right, assuming you've got all that sorted, so you're landing on this D, and then you go across like this. 9, 11, 12. So like this, and this solo relies very heavily on the G major scale. In fact, most of it's just based around just. But from the beginning, it sounds like this. And you can add a bit of vibrato to these notes just to make it sound a bit sweeter. But after you've done this, you're going to want to do a similar thing, but go up 2 frets, the 11th fret, and play 11, 12, then 14. So you've got 9, 11, 12, then 11, 12, 14. I'd recommend using the same 3 fingers, but you could do or something, but I think it's just easier. And from the beginning, it sounds like this. And afterwards, you've got almost the same thing in that you just go 12, 14. So like that, and you can use 1 and 4 for that, or 1 and 2. But I really don't mind. So, in fact, it might be slightly better to actually use just your second finger, because the next note is going to be a full tone bend. So just from a bit backwards, it goes like this. You could also do on the 3rd finger, but I don't know. Like that. And when I said about the whole tone bend, you could go onto the 15th fret and do a semitone bend. But seeing as the next note is going to be your little finger on this D, the 15th fret of the B string, it might be slightly more difficult to go than it would to go. I can do both, but I think it's probably slightly easier to go for the whole tone bend and just slip your finger on the fret above. From the very beginning of the solo, it sounds like this. And afterwards, this is actually a 3-note bend, which is very impressive. So you've got the A bend up to a B. And then on the end, you're just going to throw the 15th fret on the B string and the 12th fret on the E string. And you should end up with 3 notes in your bend, or you could do something different, but this is how I quite like to play it. And if you're going to do it like this, you've got to play it really well, and it's got to be crystal clear. But you could do something like, or, but that's quite difficult. So if you were to just stick to playing it, and as you're bending that note up, as soon as you get to the very top of that note, you want to throw the D down. That's personally my favourite moment in the solo. It just seems really nice when you play it correctly. From the beginning, it's like this. Then after that, you've got a nice little whole tone bend here. This one does sort of need to be a whole tone.
going down to the 14th fret on the D string. So note by note, this is the 14th fret on the G string, bent up a tone, and then release the bend. Then 12th fret on the G string, then 14th fret on the D string. And the little bend sounds like this. So just from a bit before it goes. And after that you've got maybe slightly nifty passage to play, which goes. Now the important thing is to catch this little E here. And note for note, it's the 12th fret on the G string, then the 14th fret, and then you just put your finger over onto the D string. Still the 14th fret. Then after that you're going to need to rock your finger back over to the G string and do another whole tone bend on the 14th fret, like you had before. So, and from the bit before it sounds like this. And when you're trying to rock your finger across for that 14th, for the 14th fret thingy, it doesn't need to come out particularly well, but it needs to be there, because otherwise it just sounds a bit boring. So you need to try and position your finger right in the middle of those two strings. And then you can just rock your hand backwards and forwards accordingly. Like so. And now the next bit is also a tiny bit difficult, but it goes like this. And the way you play this is you do this little motif. Do you remember when we had the sort of things? That you're sort of going to do the same sort of thing but in reverse, like this. And fret for fret, again, that's an upbeat, so it's 4-1. That 11th fret there needs to land on the first beat of the bar. But you've got the 12th fret on the G string, and then the 14th fret on the G string, 12th fret again, then the 11th fret. And you're going to want to pick the 12th fret and the 11th fret to the just needs to be a hammer-on pull-off. Like that. And then after that you're going to want to play the same thing, but so after you've done, you're going to want to do, which is just 12th fret, then 11th fret, and then the 9th fret, all on the G string. From the tiny bit before it goes like this. And the same thing applies. You're going to want to pick the 12th fret and the 9th fret need to be picked. But then after that you're going to go back up to the 11th fret on your 4th finger, 3rd finger. And then you're going to pull off to the 9th fret. Then down another 2 frets to the 7th fret. We're still on the G string, but from the bit before it goes. This is a really neat little motif just for solos in general, but I think it sounds pretty cool like this, so yeah. And again, the same thing applies. You're only going to want to pick the and the. Don't pick this one, otherwise it sounds. It also makes it really difficult to time the slides. And then you're going to do this once more. It's going to sound the same, but you're going to use different fingering. You're going to go the 9th fret on the G string, and then the 7th fret on the G string, and then across to the D string. Finally we're off the G string, but you go down to the 10th fret, which will sound like this. And again, you're going to want to stick with just picking you're only going to want to pick the 9th fret and the 10th fret on the D string. You're just going to pull off the E. And from all the way back, it sounds like this. And then here's probably the last difficult bit of the whole solo, which goes like this. The way you're going to play this is you're going to you ended up on the 10th fret, then you're going to want to pull off to the 9th fret, like that. And you remember earlier we had our finger on the 7th fret, you're going to want to go back to that. Like that. And then you've got your biggest slide probably in the whole solo. It's a perfect 4th. And it's actually quite difficult to nail, so metronome. It's the only word I can say is metronome. And also look where you're going. Don't sort of follow your finger with your eyes and think, because you'll almost certainly get it wrong. Think about where your hand's going, and you're guaranteed to get it right pretty much all the time, provided you practice it. And on the end of that, you're going to want to stick another one of those 14th fret bends upper tone on the G string. There are an awful lot of these in the solo, but sorry, take that one up with Brian May, not me. And this is how the next bit of the solo goes. And it's not anywhere near as difficult as the first half. And all you're going to want to do is you're on this bend. And you're going to want to actually pitch the bottom note. You're not just going to. It's not just going to be thrown away. You've got to think about that note. So you've got your bend upper tone on the 14th fret. Then you come down to the 14th fret, and then down to the 12th fret, then back up, like this. Then after that you've got this little motif here. Which goes like this. You're going to want to silently bend upper tone again on the 12th fret of the G string. And you're going to want to release that. And you don't need to pick at all until you get back up from the 11th fret to the 12th fret. So you've got your 14th fret bend, just down to the 14th, then 12th, 11th, 12th. And after that, you've got probably the climax of the solo, which is a whole tone bend on the B string this time, 15th fret. From the bit before it, it sounds like this. And you're just going to want to move your hand up to there, bend up a full tone from the 15th fret on the B string. And again, you're going to want to sound the note that you come down to. But don't pick it. And in fact, the only note you're going to pick on the B string is that bend. That should be the only note you need to pick. The distortion and the sustain should do the rest. But after you've come off that note, you're going to want to go down 2 frets to the 13th fret. Then slide down a fret to the 12th fret on your first finger. Then up 2 frets onto the G string. Then down 2 frets to the 12th fret. So bend 15, 13, 12, 14, 12. And that is actually the whole solo. I'm just going to play it once more for you just to make sure you've got it in your heads. And also because I like playing it. Right, thank you so much for watching my lesson. I figured that any video with Queen and solo and lesson in it got 167 views. Thank you for that. Hopefully this will get a similar amount. As I said, it is my favourite Queen song as of right now, but I really do hope to do a lot more lessons like this, as I'm just going to probably reiterate everything I've said in the first 5 minutes, so you might as well just skip this to the end. But if you do skip, please like the video, subscribe, whatever. I'd like to do more lessons, I'd like to do more covers, I'd like to do more of whatever I can do. I've also got a couple more videos just planned that I don't have the time for yet. Hopefully I'll have that soon. But hopefully you've skipped to about now, so please like the video, please subscribe, please comment your ideas what I should do in the future. But that's probably going to be all I've got time for now. Yeah, bye.